So this is game 2 of this night. The game before this was the beginning of the finals for the Blades of Steel. You would have saw that one already. This one is the finals for, well, the beginning of the final series for the Stars. So we're playing a team called Tartan Army here, and Tartan Army finished, I think, dead last or second last, and we finished last. So they're now in the finals. Interesting how that works out. And credit to both of our teams. We didn't have any like call-ups and stuff in the playoffs and kind of like stack our team. It's just our team. We made a few line changes that really helped out, and Tartan just decided to actually play. And Tartan has a big problem of not getting enough players out all the time. They were like one of the teams that always had 6 guys on the ice when the whistle dropped, and they might get 2 or 3 more like within 5-10 minutes after the game started. And in this case, they had like all their players actually just showed up for one. So it's always their team. My Blaze of Steel team used to always play against them when there was 2 divisions, and now they ended up just playing because it's all 1 division, but they ended up in the bottom bracket, and here they are. You can't really compare how previous results work with this team in the playoffs because they have so many players actually there for once, and it's tough because of you don't know who's going to show up in the regular season, and you could be missing the really good guys or you could be missing the really bad guys, so it kind of levels out. With this, it's going to be a tough battle. They absolutely steamrolled everyone in the playoffs, and we're going to see what happens here. These are the Cortec like base layers, and the idea of them is to help with like growing poles and your hips and everything, and they have a tight end piece. You can see how this material doesn't really stretch a lot, and it's really tight and it really holds your hip and like legs in place. This stuff, I've used it for years under different branding. They used to be under Under Armour, and has saved me multiple times in games, especially towards the end of this and playoffs, where I pulled my groin and I wouldn't have been able to play without these things. So Cortec sent me a pair of these I'll do a full review on them and everything, but if you're interested in Cortec stuff, and they really help with the groin and like stopping injuries from getting worse and preventing them. They have a less tight version as well. This is a 1.0, the other ones are a 3.0. There's a link to Cortec in the description. If you use my coupon code, you get a discount, as well as it supports the channel. So you get protective base layer stuff that I wear all the time and honestly really need to keep my groin intact, and it also supports the channel as well, so check those out. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel without buying anything, check out links in the description to Patreon, buy me a coffee. Everything through there comes again back into the channel so I can make more content and doing real reviews.
Y'all ready for this?
So unfortunately, I'm not gonna say good play came to an end because the team didn't play that bad. We played like pretty good overall, but this Tartan just beat us, and they had more shots, they had more chances. We got into penalty trouble, and the Stars team here tends to believe where refs are like always call them on bad calls, but really the Stars grind so hard and like hook people all the time and kind of go like 110 when they shouldn't. They end up getting penalties for it, and they end up really angering other teams. And this was a case, like you saw, we had a 5-on-3 I think a couple times in here. We had at least a 5-on-4 as well. It was in our zone for like a minute and a half straight. So this team tends to make some other players angry, and they just kind of go a little too far with like hooks and running people into the boards, and they get called for it, which is how it should be. I was pretty exhausted at this game too. You can see me after that penalty kill, just like on the ground, just dead. There's been so much hockey in this month and like the last 2 weeks of when this happened. Playing back to back for the playoffs ends up being pretty tough as well, just because it's a lot and it's tiring, and you could see it in me. I was just absolutely exhausted from it. Overall, I thought I played pretty good. I made a ton of pretty good saves. My team did a pretty decent job, but we did leave out some very big scoring opportunities, and unfortunately that came to bite us. And when we let in a goal and then right away they come down and score on a breakaway, like that's kind of tough, and you have to make sure and kind of come back defensively to really make sure that doesn't happen, and unfortunately it did. For the first goal, there's nothing my team can do about this. This is one of the biggest humans I've ever had to play against in terms of standing in front of me and blocking my view altogether. I look right, the guy shoots it off the post left. It was an absolutely perfect shot. It was a perfect screen. I can play this by just dropping and hugging the post, but I'm trying to find out what was going to happen. Honestly, the guy shooting there, I didn't think it was going to actually shoot there. I thought he would try to play it and pass it to something more open, but he makes a great shot. This guy scores on me all the time, and it was a nice overall goal. The second goal is a 2-on-1-ish, but a great pass across the ice, and the guy doesn't shoot it. He just swats it towards the net, and it goes up high and in. My blocker was kind of there. It went over it. So again, hard to do. I have to move faster on this, and that's a hard play to make. Nice tip in. So what can you really do there? And then right after that is the third goal, which is a breakaway, and that's like a play we can't give up. We can't give up a breakaway in that scenario, and unfortunately we did. The guy just beats me on the breakaway. I fall forward. I don't get my blocker up. He puts it over my pad. He just beats me all around. Finally, when we get to the fourth goal, we're just done at this point. We're killing a penalty. My D skates right in front of me. A guy all alone in the slot puts it in. There's not much more to say on this one. That was kind of just it for the game, as you could see how it ended up afterwards. But it was also us just trying to hold on to anything we could, and we just couldn't. This is going to be a tough series. Tartan really comes to play in the playoffs. They're pretty solid. They have a lot of guys that can really move the puck well. Like, they play smart hockey. They're not super fast. They're not really young, but they're smart, and they play like smart hockey, and it's going to be a tough series. If the Stars play really well, we could definitely beat them, but it's going to be actually a real challenge for us, so we're going to have to see how that comes out down the line.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.